Spiritual successor this, spiritual successor that. How many games have claimed to be spiritual successors to an older game only to fail miserably? Hello there strategy gamers, and welcome to my humble channel where I talk all things strategy games, but today I want to talk about something a little different that has been nagging in the back of my mind since doing the video on Stormgate and seeing players discuss their thoughts or disgust on the game. I'm starting to hate this obsession, this disease that I call spiritual successorism. And yes, I'll admit I'm guilty as charged as well of using that term, but I've seen too many disappointments that I think it's time we stopped using this term. A spiritual successor simply means that a developer is making a follow-up to a classic game in spirit. That's what a spiritual successor means, a follow-up in spirit. In the case of Stormgate and their devs shooting their own foot with this, it led to huge expectations that can only be followed by a huge disappointment. This isn't only happening in strategy games, mind you, but 2025 being a huge year for real-time strategy games, I think you know which games I'm talking about. Some games the devs have not actually made this claim, which I applaud them. And I do find it strange, these devs using these terms for their game, because they weren't the ones to make the old games. You know, if Chris Metzen and James Pinney or Dustin Browder from StarCraft 2 said they were making a StarCraft spiritual successor, I would be okay with that. But a lot of spiritual successorism is not like that at all. I don't think it warrants its usage. If fans were to make a game that was inspired by the old classic, yeah, I'd more prefer to say it was inspired by it, which sets a more fair expectations for fans, for you who love those classic games. Also, to be fair, sometimes it's not the devs at all. It might be some gaming outlet that decides to willy-nilly throw out this term, or some YouTuber like, Moa, who, have been accused of being intellectually challenged to discuss deep, complex topics like this. Yes, because it requires someone with a PhD to talk about it, apparently. We all fall for this stupid marketing PR speak, sometimes in our coverage. It's easy to describe a game like this to create more excitement and hype, more wish lists on Steam and views, which mean there's more interest and companies can use these to gain funding or support from a publisher. That is what marketing is for, but more often than not, more disappointments. So I'd like to make a promise that moving forward, I am never going to be using this word ever again, unless it is said by people with the pedigree to say so, the ones that made the original game. I'm not going to fall for marketing speak. I'll try to be more careful in my assessments of games and catch myself from using this marketing speak. And I think we should all put more weight into assessing each game on its own merits. That's how I will be moving forward. Now, spiritual successorism is often also followed along with another annoying disease, former devism. People saying they are former devs of Blizzard or CD Projekt Red or Westwood Studios, although the last one, there's very few remaining from that ancient studio. Now, this is an easy and quick way to gain more interest in your development studio for sure, but it's no guarantee they'll produce a quality title. It all boils down to the talent, the people in the new studio, which may be starting from scratch with a completely new type of game, so their experience in their previous studio may not count as much for the new one. Or worse, they were not the key talent in the old studio. That's the key word here, no pun intended. But are merely using the name of a more prestigious studio to make their studio look good. Especially for studios saying they are former Blizzard devs. There are quite a few of them. That really counts for very little these days. This is another form of marketing speak, which I'll tell you what they said, but won't be putting much weight into it. It's all about the game they are making and not the hype they are trying to generate. That's it. I just wanted to get this off my chest. As I said, 2025 is a pretty big year for strategy games, and I hope you'll stay a while and listen to the rambling of this humble strategy gaming night. Do check out my list of 2025 strategy games over here. There's some big ones and some interesting, peculiar ones. I think you'll agree. Thanks for listening and farewell, noble friends.